Hey, this is Charles from IGN, and I'm playing Guild Wars 2, currently in closed beta, meant to launch sometime in 2012, and I'm going to take a look in this video at the Thief profession. Profession is just what ArenaNet, the developer of Guild Wars 2, calls classes. So this is the Thief, and the way skills work in this game, the way you build your class, you do have pieces of armor you can equip over here as well that provide statistical bonuses. But the main thing you want to do is swap around your weapons, because skills are actually tied to individual weapon types in this game. So you can see with the Thief, here are the assortment of weapons he can use: a pistol, a dagger, a short bow, and a sword. Now that's not, and then underwater weaponry down here. Now that's not as wide a variety of weapon types that other classes can use, but what's interesting about the Thief is, depending on which offhand is equipped with a primary one-hander, it will actually adjust the one-hander's skill set. So you get 3 different variations if you equip a sword with a dagger, with a pistol, and with a light. So there is a little bit of flexibility within the more limited range of weapons available to the Thief. So I have a few skill sets unlocked. When you find weapons in the game, you actually have to go through and use the weapons to unlock the full skill set, which is over here. These are the weapon skills. These are a different set of skills on the right side of your skill bar that are in the slot skills, and you unlock these by gaining skill points. And I'm not really going to cover that so much, but you earn skill points by leveling up and by doing specific quests, and you can just sort of unlock these and slot them in whatever happens to be unlocked, as you can see in this interface here. And then there's a whole there's a whole trade system that makes this much more complicated, where you can go in and modify pretty much everything about your character depending on how you want to build your strengths. So that's an entire other customization system, but I'm just going to give a brief overview of how the Thief works with a one-handed sword, a dagger, and a short bow. And I have the short bow equipped right now. You can actually swap between weapon sets on the fly, so you can see my skill bar changing here. These are the one-handed sword skills right here. These are the dagger skills. I can also use a dagger in primary hand. Let's go down here. If you equip a dagger on a main hand, you get a different set of first 3 skills here. So the weapon you have equipped pretty much determines how you're going to play the game. But since the bow takes up 2 hands, I don't have an offhander, so the bow just has 5 skills tied to it, and that's what you see here. Or here, if I had the bow equipped. There we go. So I'm just going to run around. I am near the Char starting zone, and I'm going to test out some of these skills. Now I have an auto attack, which is trick shot here, that bounces arrows off multiple nearby foes. So I'm going to do that on this Ascalonian fighter up here, and I'm going to auto attack at him. Pretty basic, just doing basic damage. Obviously he's not, I seem to be on fire. I don't think that was through my doing. That was probably his. But you know, nothing fancy going on with this auto attack, just basically whittling him down. I'm out-leveled beyond him, so that's why I killed him pretty easily. Also, every class has a heal in this game, so there isn't really a dedicated healer. And my heal that I have equipped, I actually have 3, which you can see here. The one I have equipped does healing, gives me health regen, and also causes me to vanish into the shadows, which gives me sort of a brief period of escape there to regen some health. But now let's look at some of the more sophisticated skills that are attached to the Thief's short bow. And they can actually be used in combo, but I'll show off the cluster bomb first. So if I bring the cluster bomb out, have an area of effect region on the ground, shoot it, and it will arc very slowly and do damage. However, you notice that one blew up in midair. So what I can do, and it's not going to work very well since this character is so close now, but what I can do is, while the bomb is in midair, hit 2 again, and there you can see it doesn't do as large damage per explosion. You get smaller explosions, but you can affect a wider area. So I'm going to try it again. There we go. Not probably the best idea for a single target, but still very useful. And you can combine that with something like Disabling Shot, which is the 3 skill, that actually jumps back and does a shot to get you out of range, which is pretty interesting. Especially if you're in trouble or something like that. I can also dodge roll out of the way of things and shoot Cluster Bomb, dodge roll out of the way, assuming I had stamina, or endurance, I'm sorry. Anyway, he's dead, but yeah, so you can dodge forward, backward, sideways, things like that, which comes in useful in battle, obviously, for avoiding attacks and things like that. Choking gas is another ability here that just does area of effect damage. It will create essentially a poison field around the character, so I'll set it up there, then set up an explosive field, detonate in midair, and there I've just done quite a bit of damage while the auto attack sort of continues, and I can sort of hop out of the way here and kill the character. And then the fifth one is Infiltrator's Arrow, which is a little more thief-like in its operation, in that if I trigger this, I have this fighter targeted here. I will shadow step right over there and basically attack, and then I can combine that with something like Disabling Shot to do that walk back, like that, and then, you know, so I'm basically controlling the range of which I'm fighting the enemy. So that helps for mitigating damage and things like that if I just want to Disable Shot back. And I don't think, oh yeah, I'm out of it. The thief uses initiative, by the way, which you can see building here. That's the resource system. So I can use this to jump in, and then Disabling Shot to jump back, assuming I actually had the proper resources to do it. And now I've died because I was on fire there. I don't actually think I'm going to be able to get up. Let's see if I can kill this person before my health bar runs out. This is the death system. When you die in Guild Wars 2, you don't instantly die. You sort of enter this downed state, and then if you're able to kill someone using this modified skill bar down here, while you're in a down state, you can come back to life on the spot. Otherwise, you have to revive somewhere close by, and I'm very close here, but no, I'm not going to be able to do it. Unfortunately. Thankfully, the waypoint is right near here, so then I just revive. My armor isn't in such good shape, and I also take a little bit of a death penalty here where I start with less health. But let me swap out this weapon set. That's essentially what the short bow can do, and obviously that can be modified once you put more skills over on this right-hand bar. So I'm going to swap over to, this is the one-handed sword with a dagger, and this has some really interesting thief-like skills, namely the first one is just an auto attack, so Slice is just an auto attack. Infiltrator Strike, though, lets me shadow step to the target like you saw a little bit with the bow, but then if I hit 2 again, I shadow step right back to where I was initially, so I can just keep doing this, assuming you can see my, my initiative draining there, but I can keep going back and forth. So against melee, I mean, this is a ranged fighter that I'm playing against right now, so it doesn't make as much of a difference, but against somebody who only attacks close range, you can imagine that that would be extremely useful. And I'm going to heal before I get into this next fight here to try and avoid more death. Dancing Dagger basically throws a dagger that cripples nearby foes and then returns to me, so that's just a distance attack. So I can use that, do this, pop back out, and then do something like the 3 attack, which is Flanking Strike, that basically sends me around behind, whoop, I was a little too far away. It sends me around behind an enemy and backstabs twice, which is really useful in terms of comboing together different attacks. The Thief, from what I've played, is much more about quick strikes, about burst damage, and about killing things very quickly. It doesn't seem like it's a class that can really sort of get in a toe-to-toe fight and last all that long, although every class in Guild Wars 2 is supposed to be very flexible, and as you've seen, there are a lot of ways to modify this character's attack abilities, but in this case, yeah, it's about doing something like Flanking Strike and getting high damage, assuming I could hit the character here, there we go, and getting high damage, and then trying to get out of there as quickly as possible before I get overwhelmed by incoming damage. And then the 5th option here, Cloak and Dagger, allows me to basically vanish after I strike, and also drops their defense once I hit them. So you can see this debuff up here, defense is decreased, stacks in intensity. So that's something that's useful in case I'm in a jam, need to get out, and use a heal. I'm just going to auto attack this guy down. And yeah, if I do roll back, then I can combo that with this and get a lot of movement in and out of a fight so that I don't get stuck in one place and get ganged up on. Every class or profession, as they're called, Also has these F1 through F4 skills. The Thief has the F1. This is a steal skill. Allows me to shadow step up to a target and steal from them, basically. And it also swaps functionality once I'm near a target, so I can show that off. It looks like, oh, no, here's somebody. Okay, so if I get close to them, I can hit F1, and there we go. I pop right in, and then I can follow up with this whirling axe F1 attack that does this big, crazy whirlwind slash and does lots of damage, and they're dead. So that's just another method of attack, another option you have for a fight. There's a longer cooldown timer on that, so that's not something you can use over and over again, like Infiltrator Strike. Infiltrator Strike is a lot of fun, by the way, and I believe that with more play, after more things are unlocked, the applications of this, especially for something like PvP and dungeon encounters, can be really cool. Especially combined with that backstab, you fly right in there, and then have the ability to hop in and out of a fight while doing high burst damage without taking too much damage yourself. So that's a brief overview of the Thief. Obviously, there are many, many, many more ways to modify characters, and actually you can preview this if you do decide to play Guild Wars 2 at some time by clicking this PvP button. You go to the miss, and that gives you basically a level 80 character. Level 80 is the level cap, and you can play around with a fully unlocked skill set to sort of determine what you like and the path you want to follow. For a lot more on Guild Wars 2, you can head over to IGN or head over to IGN's YouTube channel.